Welcome friends to another r/EntitledParents video. If you're not an entitled person, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. That said, our first story of the day is by Calinative07. Crazy liar dad finds out where I live and attempts to give my apartment to his random friends without my knowledge. To add some context, I'm female 25. My parents are so crazy to the point to where me and the majority of my family had to cut them off. For me personally, my dad completely, and my mom calls on occasion. My mom also tries to overstep, such as inviting him to family events he's not specifically invited to. The reason is he tries to steer every conversation and attempts to talk about himself. People usually don't care or want to hear them. He argues with people, threatens their lives. And she purposely does these things knowing they'll cause an argument, and she gets joy out of it. So needless to say, sane people don't want these issues in their lives. My dad is delusional and narcissistic to the point that he thinks he's famous and claims everyone runs up to him for pictures and says he's famous and someone he knows is making a movie about him. Lies about it obviously, because no one's ever seen this and it's a running joke. People laugh at him. He thinks it's with him, not at him. He lost all his friends due to his poor behavior, such as arguments, belittling, non-stop phone calls. But to the story of his lies and delusions. I have an apartment and I didn't give him my address because we aren't on speaking terms, and threatened my life because I wouldn't give him my personal info so he could take out loans in my name. Like, that's an obvious no. Also, I didn't grow up with him, so I barely know him. He's apparently told people he has an apartment, mine, that he lets his daughter, me, live in. This is what I've been told. He likes to pretend he's a big shot. So I guess he told some people who needed a place to live they could stay at his spare apartment. He got my address from a family member, I assume my mom, due to the fact that no one I know speaks to him. One day, I get a call from my apartment building manager saying there's some people at the gate saying they're here to move into your unit. Is this correct? I was just as confused as she seemed, as well as the people he sent to live at my place. He somehow thinks it's his place. Mind you, it's my place, I pay the bills, and I didn't even know he knew my address. So I go out to meet these said guests as there was much confusion. These three people, three random sketchy older looking men. Side note, I would at most let a friend stay a few nights if needed, not random strange men. I ask what's going on. My building manager stayed because she wanted to know what's going on and wanted to help sort it out. And she would also know who's moving in and out because she's in charge of leasing and the building isn't that big. We all know each other. The three men proceed to tell me they're moving into their place. They're here for the keys. You're his daughter, right? He said you'd be out by the time we got here and keys would be at the front desk. We all looked and I said, "Do you see a front desk?" I asked to see what was the address. We thought maybe wrong address. Nope, my address. So the guy said, "Your dad said he kicked you out because he said you were freeloading and he had you leave your keys at the non-existent front desk." By this time, all five of us were confused, but they had my address. I said he doesn't even have my address, so I don't know how he got it. By this time, they're trying to call him to sort it out. He's not answering at the moment. So I explained to them, I don't know how you or he got this address. I haven't spoken to him in about a year. And I don't know how I'm freeloading or what he's told you, but this is my place. I don't know what's going on. Y'all need to figure it out with him, but I have no place for you. Sorry. They try to get me to call him, and I said no, and calling won't change anything, and this isn't my problem, so I can't help you. By the way, they didn't seem threatening, it was just random and weird for all. I hear one guy on the phone talking to my dad. I hear him telling she's lying, etc. Ask her to show you the lease. At this point, me, one of the guys, and my building manager are all looking like, this is odd. And he looks embarrassed. My manager stepped in at this time, luckily. She told the men you all must have the wrong place. She's on the lease, the only one. You'll all have to leave and sort it out. I can say despite them looking sketchy initially, they were as calm as could be in their odd situation. Because, in all honesty, the only fault they had was believing my dad. They thought they were moving into an apartment for free. If I was in that situation, I wouldn't be happy either. After apologizing and before leaving, I heard one of them saying, "I knew something was up, he's always lying." I asked, "What did he tell you?" One of the men said he told me he had a spot for him to move in, all furnished and paid up to the rest of the year. I kicked my daughter out because she's freeloading, but claimed he couldn't get out of the lease. I said something like, "Well, like your friend said, he's a liar. I don't know how, why, and what made him do this. I never gave him my address. He isn't on a lease. I don't even talk to him. So I'm sorry, but I hope it works out. I don't know what my dad thought would happen, but like I said, he's delusional. He probably assumed all he was saying was true. Or maybe he assumed there was a front desk and whoever was at the front desk would just magically let 3 random people in and I'd have no say. It's also crazy that I can't even attempt to understand. There's no use. Also, I told my manager thanks, and if anyone ever comes when I'm not home, please give me a call or call 911. If I have a guest coming, I'll be home to greet them. I feel like this dad is suffering from some kind of delusion or something because I feel like you would have to be in the worst, scummiest place possible for any kind of security to let 3 random people into a room. In what world would anybody be able to go up to any apartment front desk and say, yeah, the 3 of us are here to move into apartment so-and-so, and just get given a set of keys to move in? If you were in an OP situation and you were confronted with these 3 guys, would you try to hear them out, or would you want to just try to shoo them away as fast as possible? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is by an anonymous poster, entitled "Aunt Almost Kills Me Because I Came Out as Bi." Okay, so me, my older cousin Evelyn, my stepbrother Jacob, who just moved in along with his dad, and a bunch of our relatives, including entitled Aunt, were over because it was Jacob's birthday. We were talking about our lives, and I just told them that I was bisexual. Now, I only found this out a few weeks ago, but didn't tell anyone because I was scared of getting closeted. Both of them were okay with it, as they both supported LGBTQ+, and told me there wasn't a problem with it. However, entitled Aunt overhears this when she was getting a Diet Coca-Cola, and she just walks up to us. Entitled Aunt, trying to be friendly, says, "Hello, you 3, so how's Alex?" OP. Jacob tells her what I said. Entitled Aunt says, "I'm okay with it." Now, Entitled Aunt was not okay with it, but I only found that out later on. When the cake was done, Entitled Aunt cut me and Jacob huge slices of cake. But when I took a bite of the cake, it felt like I just swallowed a hornet's nest. I was coughing and my cheeks went all puffy too. Now, Jacob, stepdad, mom, and Evelyn freak out because of this, and stepdad confronts Entitled Aunt. Stepdad said, "Entitled Aunt, what did you do?" Entitled Aunt said, "Oh, I just added a secret ingredient, mixed nuts." Mom says she's allergic to nuts. You know this, Entitled Aunt. During this, Jacob's cousin runs off to get help. Entitled Aunt says, "But she's insert homophobic slur here." Mom said, "I knew inviting you here was a mistake. I thought it would be nice to let Alex see you again after 3 years, but I see now that that was a mistake." Entitled Aunt says, "So what are you saying?" Mom says, "I'm saying, get out of this house and stay the freak away from my kids." Now, I was throwing up violently and all over the place. My mom goes mama bear mode and starts yelling at Entitled Aunt. Jacob's cool uncle starts trying to get our neighbors' attention and tell them what's going on. And during this, Evelyn and Jacob are trying to stop me from freaking out because they knew me panicking would just make the situation even worse. Entitled Aunt says, "Oh well, it's not my fault that I have an ugly insert homophobic slur of a niece." Mom then shouts at Entitled Aunt, saying that I was not what she just said. Now, I don't remember what happened after that because I was passed out on the floor. I woke up 3 days later in the hospital and was told that I passed out from an anaphylactic shock, and that Entitled Aunt managed to sneak a whole bag of mixed nuts into the cake. So that meant if Entitled Aunt got her way, I would have died. As for what happened after the incident, we decided to just buy an ice cream cake to make up for the whole thing. We also chose to close contact with Entitled Aunt because after that incident, we didn't want anything to do with her. To be fair, if my relative tried to murder another one of my relatives by way of allergic reaction, I too would want to cut them off. There is no way I'm going to want to stay around somebody who's so underhanded that they're willing to do something like that. And our final story of the day is by that random dev. Entitled Parent has their daughter swimming naked at a public pool. To start off, I go swimming at my local rec center, which is pretty popular. I also mainly swim underwater because I find it much easier than holding myself up. This is important. This happened a few days ago. I was just chilling in the deep end, swimming underwater like usual. About 20 feet away in the not so deep area, I thought I saw a small butt. Whatever, I've seen a lot of skin-colored suits. I come up for air, and then when I look, I go, holy crap, there's actually a kid with no clothes in this pool. I start feeling awkward, so I turn back around and just stand there for a bit. After a bit, I just go back to swimming. After about 30 seconds underwater, I feel myself getting pulled up, so I just push myself up to the surface. Now enter entitled mom. The mom says, "What the heck are you doing?" I say, "What?" She says, "You're looking at my child's parts. She's only 5, you pervert." I say, "I'm sorry?" She says, "I saw you look at her a few minutes ago, then you went underwater." I say, "Oh, I assume you're the mother of that kid with no clothes?" She says, "So you admit it, you did look at her." I say, "On accident when I came up for air, I turned around." I then get pushed underwater. She actually held me down for a bit. Then someone jumps in the water next to me and I get pulled out. I then start hearing her screaming that she was assaulted and violated and other crap like that. For the record, I wasn't really in danger, mostly because I was only under for about 3 to 5 seconds. Anyways, time to enter the absolute freaking legend, lifeguard. The mom says, "He's a predator. He was looking at my daughter while she wasn't wearing anything." The lifeguard says, "I'm sorry, not wearing anything? From what I've seen, he hasn't left the pool." The mom says, "Well, sure he hadn't, but he went underwater while my daughter wasn't wearing anything." I say, "Well, yeah, because I really only swim underwater. I can't even see that far underwater, it gets foggy." The lifeguard says, "Wait, is your daughter in the pool?" The mom says, "Well, yes. What does that even freaking matter? He's staring at her." The lifeguard says, "No need for language, but please explain why your daughter isn't wearing anything in the pool." The mom says, "Because she doesn't like swimsuits, but it doesn't matter. Call the police and have this boy arrested." The lifeguard says, "Excuse me, sir, but can I hear your side of the story?" I say, "Well, I was swimming underwater, and when I came up for air, I saw a kid in the pool about 20 feet away. I just turned around and after a minute or two, went back under. 30 seconds later, she's pulling me out of the water, and all this began." The lifeguard said, "All right, I'm gonna have to ask you to get your daughter out of the water and clothed, then we'll have to talk to my manager." The mom says, "Finally, something's happening towards punishing this predator." The lifeguard just winks at me. It was at this point I realized this guy already knew what actually happened and doesn't intend to punish me. I had to go with them, cutting my night short. Although it was worth it for the fallout. At the pool manager's office, she started yelling the moment we got in about how I was a predator staring at her unclothed daughter. The lifeguard assaulted her, the police needed to be called, blah blah blah. The lifeguard then explained what happened from his point of view. I gave mine, then she gave hers. This is everyone's story. Lifeguard said, "I saw 2 people arguing, these 2, and from what I heard, she was mad because he was staring at her daughter or something. Then she pushed him under and held him down for a few seconds until I pulled her off. She started screaming about him being a predator and staring at her unclothed daughter, and I asked what she meant. She had her daughter swimming unclothed in the pool. I say I was swimming underwater, and when I came up for air, I noticed there was an unclothed girl. I turned around because I felt awkward, and after a few minutes, I went back under. Then she came and pulled me out and started screaming. She basically just said what lifeguard said, then she dunked me and got pulled off." The mom says, "He stared at my daughter's parts, and when I tried to talk to him, he screamed at me. He tried to hit me, so I pushed him. Then the lifeguard came and pushed me and hit me, then screamed at me too. And then..." The manager says, "So how about we now check the cameras?" The mom suddenly flustered, "No, that's not necessary. Let's just leave." The lifeguard says, No, let's just watch them so we can get proof of him being a predator." The manager says, "Lifeguard, great reasoning. Let's do it." After this, she got in trouble. Not for the naked thing, she was just really told not to do that again. No, she was in trouble for assaulting me. She was not allowed in there for a year, and the police were called. I was asked for a statement, and I told them what I told the manager. I was asked if I wanted to press charges. I said no. I'm only 16 and I don't feel like having to enter the legal world, as well as I don't want to completely ruin this lady's life. She then screamed "freak you" at me, the manager, and the lifeguard. That was the last I saw of her. Those 2 guys are freaking legends. If you read this, love you guys. I'm just gonna be honest, I'm assuming this took place in America, and in America, nobody's going to a public swimming pool and letting their kids swim around without clothes on. I don't want to say this world's gone to crap, but I would not trust that all the strangers swimming around in the pool aren't going to be doing some creepy, messed up watching going on. And just in general, it's kind of weird to have your kids swimming around in a public pool like that regardless. Just have some modesty for other people. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So of all these stories I've read today, which is your favorite and why? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't yet, if you could like and subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. Whatever you do, whether it's liking, subscribing, turning notifications on, all of it helps grow this channel and I appreciate the heck out of it. So until next time, I'll see you all tomorrow with some more stories.